everyone, my name is Yan Ao. I am going to do my presentation on ethanol production. First, what is ethanol? Ethanol is an alcohol with molecular formula C2H5OH. Ethanol is not a hydrocarbon because molecular contains an oxygen. Ethanol is a colorless liquid which boils at 78 Celsius degree. Ethanol is completely miscible in water, which is ethanol can dissolve in any quantity of water. Ethanol is also neutral liquid. What are the uses of ethanol? Ethanol is present in alcoholic drinks and is also used as a fuel and as a solvent. Using ethanol as a fuel, ethanol can be used as biofuel for cars, and ethanol is a common fuel in Brazil where plenty of sugarcane provides a renewable resource for fermentation. Up to 30% of ethanol can be blended with petrol and the use in car engines to reduce the use of fossil fuels. Use ethanol as solvent. Ethanol is a solvent in tincture of aldehyde. Aldehyde dissolved in ethanol was commonly used as an antiseptic. And ethanol is a common solvent for perfume. How can we make ethanol? Ethanol can be made by the fermentation of sugar solution. Fermentation is a use in a batch process to make alcohol in beers and wine. An enzyme in this acts on the natural sugar in malt, which is to make beers, and grape to make wine. Fermentation will work at temperature between 18 and 35 Celsius. If the temperature is too cold, the enzyme in this will inactivate. If the temperature is too hot, the enzyme will be denatured. The best wine are normally made at the low end of this temperature range, although low temperature fermentation is slower and takes longer. When the alcohol concentration in the wine reaches about 10 to 14%, the alcohol damages the yeast and stops the fermentation. Ethanol can be separated from the mixture of water and alcohol by fractional distillation, and this process can be used to make alcoholic drinks with higher alcohol concentration, such as whiskey. Ethanol can be also made by the reaction of ethane with steam in the presence of phosphoric acid in a continuous process. A continuous process means that the reactants are constantly being put in one end of the reaction vessel and the product are constantly being taken out on the other end. Adding the compound of water across the double bond of ethane is called the hydration of ethane. The reaction is carried out at high temperature and a high pressure, like this chemical reaction. Ethane plus the steam in the presence of phosphoric acid and it forms C2H5OH. Let's compare the batch process and the continuous process. The batch process is we use the reaction called fermentation, and it's also we use the renewable resources, which is sugarcane. And the reaction is really slow compared to continuous process. And we form ethanol and water mixture. For the continuous process, the reaction we use is hydration of ethane, and we don't use renewable resources. And the reaction is quite fast, and the product is just pure ethanol. For the in industry, industry normally rather use continuous process than a batch process because of the fast production of the pure product. But in some countries, such as Brazil, it may use the batch process to produce ethanol. Like from here, we can see it has become an issue because using sugar cane, which is the batch process to produce ethanol, is better for the environment, and for the continuous process, which is not that good for the environment. Let's talk about ethanol from sugarcane. In the view of current environmental issues, including the greenhouse gas emissions, fermentation-based ethanol is considered an alternative to fossil fuels since it from the renewable resources. Here are the major steps to make ethanol from sugarcane. Here's the link that we can look at it so we can know how they make ethanol in industry.
Ethanol is produced from sugarcane juice through a fermentation and distilling process. The juice is first purified by various filtering processes until it is ready to be fermented and mixed with yeast. At this stage, the liquid is called fermented wine. The alcohol contained in the wine is recovered in distillation and rectification columns. Hydrous ethanol, the type used in flex fuel vehicles in Brazil, is produced at this point. To obtain anhydrous ethanol, the type that's mixed with gasoline, the liquid undergoes an additional water removal or dehydration stage. The entire procedure from the arrival of the cane at the mill to the finished product takes 15 hours. 1 ton of sugarcane yields about 85 liters of ethanol. Brazil produces more than 30% of the world's ethanol. It is the top exporter and second largest producer of the biofuel, behind the United States. In the 2010-2011 harvest, production is expected to reach almost 30 billion liters. Ethanol produced in Brazil follows strict technical specifications and international standards.
All right, next is we can look at the picture on how to make sugarcane through how to make ethanol through sugarcane. Here is the picture. You can look at like the sugarcane enter and through different steps and then the ethanol come out at the end. Okay, the benefit of ethanol. If you use ethanol, use sugarcane to make ethanol, we can have a clean air, which is because when we making the ethanol, the sugarcane like adds the oxygen to gasoline, and which is reduce the pollution. Also, using sugarcane to make ethanol reduce the greenhouse gas emission. Compared to gasoline, sugarcane ethylene causes carbon dioxide emission by 90% on average. Also, using sugarcane to make ethanol is better performance. Because ethanol is a high octane fuel that helps prevent the engine from knocking and generates more power in high compression engine. Also, lower the petroleum usage, which is reduce the global dependence on oil. Brazil is one of the largest sugarcane producer, and we can see from this presentation we know that a lot of industry use continuous process to produce ethanol, which is kind of bad for the environment. For batches, process, we use sugarcane to produce ethanol, which is a lot better for the environment.